dream big and make sure to have some measurable, happy goals to structure yourself with and commit to them by having reminders and friends around. My name is Elizabeth Ramirez Stenvig, and I'm hired as a client development manager at Maersk, Norway. I must say, can everybody give themselves a round of applause because you're actually here taking your time to listen. I mean, it's the second Easter day in Norway. I'm still on my holiday. I'm not sure, we're not that many people in the room. Maybe we could do an introduction round before I start. And if it's okay for you, I'll just go with my list, say your name, and tell me why you're here, if that's all right. So on top of my list, I have Amanda.
Hello, you guys. My name is Amanda, and I'm here because I'm really interested in the topic. I have a lot of visions and dreams, and I would like them to become a reality.
Perfect. Good. That's the best reason for being here right now. Yeah. And where are you stationed, Amanda?
Right now, I'm in Bergen, where it's my hometown, but I live in Trondheim.
Nice.
I was here for my Easter break.
Nice. Welcome to this webinar and workshop. Yeah.
Thank you.
And next on my list is Janet. While we wait for Janet, Maria. There we have it, Janet.
Okay.
Great. Hi, Janet.
Hi. I'm Janet. I am in Bergen right now. Though I was in Portugal, that's why you can see the PT there. I was in Portugal when I opened the Zoom. But I just like the webinar because I want to get some knowledge and upgrade myself in some things. So that's why I'm here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Maria?
Is it me? Okay. Yeah. Are you talking about this? Okay, I joined this webinar to get, to update my CV, and because I joined this webinar in order to strengthen my CV because I got recommended that on Facebook, the linguistic students group that I'm a member of.
Perfect. Welcome. Where are you stationed?
In Oslo.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I spent the whole days there because of the corona.
Yeah, it's terrible. We should have been all together in one room, but at the same time, I wouldn't be able to be in Oslo and Bergen at the same, like I couldn't be at the two of me. So that's a good thing about having it digital, right? Welcome, Maria. I hope you will get what you're searching for out of this. Then I have Anna.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, I'm Anna. I've been a member in AIESEC, but not in AIESEC Norway. So this is the reason why I joined this webinar, because I hope that one day, if I ever get to move to my boyfriend in Norway, and if I ever get to study in Norway, I'll get to join AIESEC Norway. Yeah, my biggest wish in my life is to get a quality education. That is something I've always wished since I was a child. So I think that this webinar is going to help me a lot when I get to, make the action plan, the strategy of my life. So yeah, and I'm not stationed in Norway because of the travel bans and because of no exceptions for girlfriends and boyfriends. Sadly, but I hope that one day stuff will be better. I mean, vaccines and stuff. So yeah, but And also it really means a lot to me that this meeting is kind of online because if it was in Norway, I wouldn't have been able to come. So yeah.
Right. So there's something good about this again. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
there's definitely positive. Yeah.
I'm glad you're with us. I hope you get what you search for as well.
Thank you.
Next on my list is Joachim.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm currently in Bergen, and yeah, I find the topic quite interesting. That's why I decided to be part of it. Thank you.
Nice. Perfect. Kujal?
Hi, I'm currently stationed in Oslo, and the main reason I joined this because I wanted to learn something new and expand my horizon.
I hope I have something new for you then, but I'm not sure though. We'll see. Monica? Stephanie?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I am based in Trondheim. I'm currently a student here, so I'm very excited to be here. I'm most excited about this meeting, mostly because of the speaker today. She's affiliated with a company that I've admired since I was a small girl. I grew up seeing the mask containers, and I'd always wanted to meet someone who comes from there, someone who might teach me or tell me a thing or two about being there. So this is one of those rare situations where you say that something that you wished for is actually coming true in the strangest of ways. So I'm really happy to be here.
Nice, thank you, and welcome as well. This is a really nice gang. I never had a workshop digital before, but I really like that we are so many different people stationed in so many different places. We all have in common that we find the topic of interest, and I will try to do my best in order to give you what has been given me in order for you to achieve success and your dreams and vision. So what we will do, this is a workshop, right? More than a webinar, meaning that we will work together. And for this to be the best possible way, I want you to have somewhere to write. If it's on your computer or if it's pen and paper, whatever makes you more creative, and there will be some thinking in here. You don't have to share whatever you're thinking of. Feel free to ask questions if you feel that you're stuck in something. But let's say the output of this workshop, I hope, will be a draft for you. And then I hope you will use the method again and again in order to refine what you started on in this, because we don't have too much time. And I mean, dreams are big. We could have had, all the time in the world, actually. So this is just a starting point, and you will keep going. My understanding from Pascal is that most of you are students. Is that right? Anyone that's not a student that's done? No? Good. I also want to say that if you are in a quiet room right now, feel free to unmute and just keep it unmuted, because then we get more the sense of being in the same room together. And if there is anything in your heart and feelings that you want to get out or comment, you just do that. It makes, instead of me trying to be funny up here and everybody's laughing, but we're muted, so I can't hear it. It's more fun to just have your sound. Mute yourself, of course, if you see that, okay, you have to dance while doing something that I asked you to, okay? Another thing that I would like you to do is to keep your camera on, because then I can see you, and when I'm presenting, I might not see you, but then maybe you see each other or the camera comes on. It's just, it gives us such more feeling around this. And this workshop needs dialogue in order for us to get the best results. And we don't want to spend our times wasted, right? And Stephanie, you wanted to know more about Maersk. By the end of this workshop, if you have questions related to my work or Maersk as a company, please feel free to ask. We can have a discussion around it, but I won't go too much into it now. But I will give you an introduction of it, just because I knew Pascal. He said to me that it might be of interest for some of you at least. Ready? The excitement in this room. It's getting me. It's getting me. Yes, thank you. Let's share screen. Maybe. Okay, but anyway, do you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you see a fish jumping from a small safe place to a much bigger one?
Yeah.
So that's me jumping outside of comfort zone to my vision, which always takes me to something bigger and better. And that's, have you seen this picture before?
No.
No?
Yes.
Good. Have you ever heard about it's outside the comfort zone, the magic happens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. So in case you haven't heard about it, it's, again, I'm rushing through a lot of valuable information, so it will probably just be more a taste for you than actually something that you're getting, but at least some of what I'm saying I hope will stick with you. But when going through life in general, we as human beings tend to want to be in the comfort zone. That's where we feel comfortable. We are with people that we trust. We do things that we trust, and we can predict what is going to happen around us. That's comfortable. The thing is that if you're dreaming of something and it's far away of where you are right now, it means that you have to change something in order for you to get to your dreams, meaning you will have to go outside of your comfort zone. So this little fish is actually flying through air in order to get to his dream, but it's in the water, of course, the fish prefers to be. So that's the symbolic in the picture, and keep that in mind when you start doing, when you start to reflect later on. Well, if you have any questions, just shoot, please. Just to give you a short brief of my career or working life. As you already know, my name is Elisabeth Ramirez Stenvik, and I'm hired as a client development manager at Maersk in Norway. Before I joined Maersk, I've been working I actually started in AIESEC, which is the mid logo here. Before I joined, I was headhunted to Schenker and headhunted to Seco and headhunted to Oracle. And in my spare time, I'm actually at the board for the Logistics Association in Norway. So if you're interested in logistics in general, I do recommend to become a member of this association. While I was a student, I was an AIESECer, and I was at the EB of the University in Oslo, which actually learned me a lot of this personal development that is part of how to be structural when achieving your dreams. But now, more than 10 years within the supply chain management industry, I have the background within digitalization, transportation, warehousing, and I love to solve problems for my customers. That's what I do, actually. I go in customer meetings, I figure out, okay, how do your supply chain look like today? And I try to figure out how can I make it even more efficient and optimal. Not just covering the shipping part, but also covering from the production end until you have your goods from AliExpress on your door. How I do this, it's to be, I like to be fair. It's the strengths that my company have and the strengths that my customers' company have. I need to be clear and I need to be humble. So these are kind of my main values when I go out. If my clients can meet me on these three values, then it's very difficult for me to help, to be honest, because I think honesty, clarity, and to be fair, it's the only way to do good business. So that's a bit about my background professionally and how I present myself to the clients. Then, any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. How do you start? How do you actually? I just want to know how somebody like if you're in Europe now, how do you start something? Like there are lots of things involved. Let's say you want to start a company and you have to go through a lot of processes. How do you go about all this? Now, if you want to join a place like this logistic you're talking about, how can somebody join the group?
Join to be a part of the logistics. So without going too deep and answering, I could have given you a good answer. And please feel free to add me on LinkedIn. But I think networking is the key word here. Networking at the university where you're now, networking by being part of a different type of association and organization like AIESEC and the Logistics Association, being part of this this workshop as well and getting to know the other people, and always be open to listen to what others have to say, because you never know who that person knows and how they will talk about you later on, especially in Norway. And when it comes to this industry within logistics, it's not big, so you will always find the same people again and again. And actually, one of my best friends are AIESECers still, even though we tend to forget since it's such a long time ago. But I still meet AIESECers that have been on conferences with, on international conferences within my industry, and they are often on the client side for me. So that's my best tip: networking, and don't be shy on it. Add everybody on this workshop to your LinkedIn account.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Okay.
So you have a vision, a dream. There will be goals. There will be part goals. We will need commitment, and we will need reminders of this. Now, you can use these 5, which I will say it's my keys to success in whatever you do in life. So you can do it big, like dream as big as you want, or you can do it small. Let's say it's for something that you have to do at school or a project at work. But we will go through each one of them together. And if I were you today, I would start on a big dream, like you all were here talking about. And it takes us to the first circle. Are you ready to start working? Yeah, good. The vision. Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? And you don't have to share this with us. If you want to share something, I would be happy to hear. And here's where the thinking music comes in. Write it down on your paper or on your laptop. Where are you in 5 to 10 years? Where are you working? Who are you with? What's your dream? Not what you think it's reality. What if you took everything aside, and you could just dream freely? Where would you see yourself? Where would you like to see yourself in 5 to 10 years? You can choose 5 years or you can choose 10 years. It's up to you. Pascal, I can't see you writing. Are you writing? Okay. Then I hope you have something. Do anyone want to share what their dreams are?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, so my list is pretty big, but one of them is, of course, to take part in Eurovision and probably, of course, win, and with the songs with own songs, and taking part in reality shows that I like, of course, being the illustrator, writer, and translator of my own books, and writing Norwegian series, norske serier, but I'll do so in 10 years because I'm sure that the writers that write them are more experienced, and being the author of some animated movies and translate Russian and Norwegian books and have a good job that I like, where I earn a lot of money.
That's a good dream. Wow. That sounds like a lot of fun, and that the road to get there will be a lot of fun as well. Thank you for sharing, Maria. Anyone else that would like to share their dreams?
I would.
Whoop.
Yeah, I just really need to make sure if you guys hear me well, because I had some connection problems.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, so in 5 to 10 years, of course, I don't want to be in this country because I've had enough of it. I love traveling, and I'm very passionate about performing arts and film. So I hope that I will be a researcher, a PhD researcher, or someone that will work within the media industry or the theater industry, and will be traveling all around to work on different projects that will inspire positive changes in the societies, in the countries where I will be going. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Sounds fun as well. Sounds like you and Maria also have something in common.
Yeah.
Anyone else that wants to share? Last one, sharing? Okay.
I can share.
Please.
In the next 5 years, I see myself growing steadily in my career in an experience within a multinational company. I also want to, in the next 5 years, be able to speak multiple languages fluently, at least 5 in the next 5 years. In the next 10 years, I actually envision either leading company as CEO or be a co-founder or founder of my own company. And of course, just because I love traveling, I would also like to travel to every single country and territory in the world by the age of 40. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Fun. Wow. You have a lot of work to do the next 5 to 10 years. But the nice thing about having these dreams, by just trying to vision what the future can bring, where you could have been, is that the road is long because it's many years, but it doesn't mean that you can't get there. It's just how you structure yourself in that sense. It's my belief in it. And the steps that we're going through right now will be, for many people, it's like, you all heard about those that want to go down in weight, like lose some weight. Everybody knows just eat less and exercise more, right? You will lose some weight. And this is a bit the same, but it's easier said than done. So that's why this will be a first draft. And also you will notice when I start to ask more questions now that maybe you want to, your dream can be as big and fluffy as you want it to be. And the time frame can change, and you will reflect upon it. And then you will see what are the goals that you need to put, that you can measure in order to get closer to your dream. Because the dream is often a state, like, I want to be happy. What makes you happy? That will be the goal to get to your dream. And that's where we're going now. But keep the dream, because this is the methodology that you can use in every aspect, like every project, everything that you find that you want to achieve something, you can use this. So now you have a dream, a vision, and what do you need to do, or what do you need to get in order for you to achieve your dream? Like, what would you need to do? Let's say if it's multiple languages, what languages is it? How many is it? Maybe start a course somewhere. I list up different things that you need to do or you need to get. If we are still on multiple languages, get to know someone that knows the languages that you are aiming for.
Yeah, I have a comment about learning a new language. When I came to Norway from Ukraine, of course, I didn't know any Norwegian, and one of the best ways I learned it was reading children's books, and I put a kind of pencil stroke under the unknown words, and then my mom made a post-it notes with and divided them into a table of 2 rows where she wrote the unknown Norwegian words and the Russian one and the Russian translation, and that's one of the ways I learned Norwegian.
Nice. Thank you for sharing, because this exercise is also about like trying to think out all different ways in order to get to the dream and to achieve it. And having those type of tricks is so important.
I'd like to add something to what Maria said, since I am also fluent in Norwegian and I learned the language in 1 year. And one thing that really, really helped me was joining språkcafés, language cafes, which is pretty good because they're online. So they're pretty easy to find. And also, for example, you can find people that are learning the language and ask them if they would like to have a conversation on the internet about a certain topic. So that helped me a lot. So I'd just like to share this tip and put it out there. So for all of you too.
Difficult?
Oh.
Yes.
It's sometimes it's like you have a dream and a vision, but what makes it different from a goal, right? And it was a bit about what I was trying to say earlier. You have a dream, a vision, it's more a state that you feel inside of you, or a position that you see yourself in, like it's something that you're dreaming of, right? It feels untouchable, it's out there. But the goals, it's something that you can measure. So this is something the goals are quite concrete. Like, okay, I vision myself talking multiple languages, but the goal is Norwegian, Indian, Mandarin, whatever, right? French. So that makes it even more structured, the vision. It makes it more to the point. But then we're still not there. I mean, it's not just to wish for learning Mandarin, or it's not just to wish to travel a lot or to be in that industry, working industry, or so then it's important to create goals to the goals. And this is supposed to be rip down for, okay, what can you do this year in order to get closer to your goal? When you figured that out, what can you do this month in order to get closer to your goal? When you figure that out, what do you need to do this week in order to get closer to that goal? And if you can take it down to what do you need to do tomorrow already in order to get closer to it, then we're really getting somewhere. And this is the action plan that I know Anna mentioned, right? Here we are down like, what can you do tomorrow? Tomorrow I need to call somebody in order to figure out something. Or this week I need to have done research around this in order to know who I have to call next week or next month. This year I need to have started a course within French. These type of things. So we don't have too much time, and these are all big questions and a huge. This is why I'm saying this is just a draft, and I will leave you with the methodology so you can go through it again and again and again. But do some exercise. Do this exercise now. Some of it is on top of your head, and some of it will be hard for you to figure out, like, yeah. But try to get to what do you have to do already tomorrow in order to get closer to that goal for this year. Music. Hooray! Is there any questions, by the way, before we get...
But you find out that you are crowded with many other things that take your time, that you don't even have time for what you are planning to do. Like if you want to, like now you're looking for a job and you have to check online, you have to browse, it takes a lot of time from you, and you had planned to do some things, yet you have your academics still waiting for you with a lot of assignments and other things. Sometimes you get so bored that you don't even know what to do.
I want to ask about the same thing, because I actually have a lot of plans, but I actually managed to screw them up, and I know that's not normal, but
well, it takes us to time management, right? And it's, if you actually have the list quite clear of the things that you need to do, and you schedule time in your calendar that, okay, the next hour or two, it's dedicated in order to get closer to this. And then you don't look at your phone. You're not browsing Facebook or vg.no. You're not answering the phone if friends are calling you. You're not thinking of your books that you have to study. You just be focused that 1 hour or 2 hours doing what you have to do. You will probably be much more efficient, and you will also have an easier conscience when doing other things later on. And that's the time management that I do recommend in everything you do, especially when you're studying. I remember from my time at university, you have these exams and these deadlines like on top of you all the time. Even though when you're supposed to have your day off, you're still thinking of that. I could have been spending my time better. But if you're good at time management, if you're good at scheduling this time, you know that you're doing your best within that time. It's easier. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier to get things done. And the same with the job search. To search for a job, it's a job in itself, right? It's, you have to go into all these portals. You have to look what is it there. It's difficult to understand what they're actually looking for, if it's something that you really want. You want to do some research on the company. You want to make sure that your application is interesting, and when you get to the interview, you want to prepare, but then you don't have the time to prepare because you had a deadline somewhere that you needed to reach, and like the life just happens. But what is nice about also this methodology is that you can pinpoint out what is actually important to you, what does really matter to you, and make sure you spend your energy on that, and try to put noise away. It's difficult, but it's a technique, and it has to be rehearsed. I think I'm not sure if it was any help, Janet.
Yeah.
But what if something unexpected happens?
Something unexpected?
Yeah, so you have to kind of reschedule a certain period of time.
That happens a lot of times.
What am I supposed to do then?
If there's something unexpected happen, it really depends on what happened, right? How important is it? Does it have to be done now, or could it be done next week? Does it have to be handled immediately? Is it burning? Are someone dying? Or would it be possible to just say, hey, thank you for noticing me, I'll get back to you next week, and then put it into your schedule where it fits? Make sense? But that also means that you have to be bold when talking with people, because some people, if you tell them that you don't have time for them right now, they might feel that you don't care about them, and then they start to put pressure on you, and you, just because you feel that you have to, you do things that you shouldn't be doing because it's actually not getting you anywhere closer to your goals. But that's part of the technique and the why you rehearse it all the time. But life happens and the unexpected comes. It's not perfect, and it's not meant to be perfect, because sometimes when the unexpected comes, that's when you suddenly get new inspiration, new impulses, and it takes you in other directions that you didn't know you wanted to, or it makes you meet people that you don't want to. So a plan is good, but sometimes it's good that it's not unplanned as well. So it's a balance.
Yeah, I think, can you hear me?
Yes, Joachim?
Yeah, I just want to say a few things. Yeah, the question asked, it's very important. But I want to say that somehow, life is in stages, right? So at some stages, some things tend to be a little bit difficult, like for a student, you have a lot of things calling for your attention. So for me, it's just like you have a timetable, for yourself, and with the things you think you should be doing every week, so to say. But then it doesn't mean that when some other things come up and you attend to them, you have failed yourself, or you have not really, done what you're supposed to do. But I think it gets to a point in life where life, becomes so clear, that that this is what you do on a day-to-day basis, and it becomes easier for you to plan out your activities on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, knowing fully well that it is difficult for you to experience some sort of distractions along there. So for me, it's like you just trying your best, be as disciplined as you can be, but then if other things come up along the line, don't feel disappointed. Don't just think you have failed or anything. I think that's what I think may work. I try to also implement that in a way. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a very, very good and valid point, Joachim, and thank you for pinpointing it out, because we don't have time for feeling bad about that you didn't have time to something. I mean, that's just taking energy away from what you could have been spending it on anyway. So if you have a plan, you have a goal, and you're aiming for it, and you're doing everything possible, and it doesn't go your way, don't feel bad about it. It's not life matter. You're still alive, and you can still do changes, and yeah, don't a plan shouldn't be defining who you are, and it's just a tool to get you closer to what you want. Okay, how is it going? Are we there? Do we have some action points for this year?
Yes, the lockdown to end.
Yeah.
Get vaccinated.
Yeah. Put
That's
yourself
my
on
goal,
hold.
to survive. Yeah, but I'm also joking. But in the meantime, personally for me, it would be that I graduate from my 4-year bachelor degree, and then do my trinn 3 på University of Oslo.
Good. I can imagine you're like running up to the vaccination station tomorrow and like seeing if you can like just sneak in somewhere. Like,
That's
I
me.
mean,
That's
I
totally
plan. Your hand is up, Maria?
Yes, one of my plans for this year, when it comes to drawing, is to publish at least one comic in Bobla magazine.
Nice. How far away are you from publishing in Bobla?
Pretty lot. I didn't start yet, but I have to do so.
Yeah. Do you know anyone in Bobla?
No, I don't know anyone, but I'm a member of a group named Norske Serieskapere, the Norwegian comic drawers or series creators, and last year I actually took part in a submission to Bobla where the topic was free and my comic was printed.
Nice.
We'll do that again this year, and there was actually a post advertising for artists and comic drawers to publish their works in Bobla, publish their comics.
Nice. No, good. So you're starting to make that comic tomorrow, or you're starting to get to know the Bobla industry tomorrow?
I'm not going to do so tomorrow. I'm going to do comic, but not tomorrow.
Yeah. No. It's a joke with some reality. The reason why I put the question, what can you do tomorrow in order for it? It's because you can break down the goals in so many small bits and pieces that every day you could have a plan from like day-to-day basis on what you can do in order to get closer to your goals. And those small goals from what you're gonna do tomorrow don't have to be that big. It could be like search up something, or call someone, or find a name, or like you could make it quite small, or just like I want to spend at least half an hour on this. And and I will do it tomorrow before breakfast, or I will do it after lunch, or and then, you know, if you have these small bits all the time, like every day, without you really thinking of it, you will get closer to your goals, which are going to get you closer to your dreams. So that's why the tomorrow it's there. Like the more deep your action plan is, the easier it goes. But now we have 2 more dots, as I call it, and it's the commitment to this. Like, how committed are you to achieve your dreams and to get to your goal? And I was told, like, when you have defined your dream, you know where you have vision in your head and in your mind, where you want to be in 5 years, and you can see yourself in that atmosphere, sitting somewhere, being doing what you want to do. Write it down and create a contract where you state, I'm committed to reach, and then you write your vision or your goal and you sign it. And it's for you. It's a contract with yourself. It's something about the human mind when we actually write down something. Like, just that what you're doing now, that you're actually writing down and not just thinking about it, but you're actually writing it down, it's quite powerful. Even without an action plan, just that you have written down something and you have those goals will probably make you more committed to it than you were before you wrote it down. So every time you have a dream or a goal, write it down. That in itself is powerful. If you can create a contract with yourself on it where you sign it, even better. And I think the most powerful part of it is to tell your friends and family. When you have that goal so clear, like, tell your friends and family, share it, because it means that you're so committed to it that you're not afraid if friends and family comes back to you on a later stage and like, hey, how is it going with that job search? Or how is it going with Mandarin? how is it going with blah blah, right? That makes something with us, because at some point we give up and we feel it's so far away, and our life happens and the unexpected drives us in all other directions. But if you have friends and family like wondering how does it go with you, then you're like, oh, that's a reminder. Oh yeah, sure. True, I was gonna make that comic in Bobla. That's true. Shit, I haven't started on it yet, but I'll get there, right? So you don't have to do it, but if you do it, it's very, very powerful. So go through what you have done, not now, but on a later stage, and we'll like spend half an hour after this session to kind of refine what you have started, and see if you can create a contract with yourself to make the commitment there. And then what you have to do is you have to create reminders for yourself. You can take that contract and frame it, put it on the wall, like for everyone to see, and yourself, and every time you wake up in the morning, you will see it, and it will remind you of what you've committed to yourself with, that you have to do, and you probably do it easier then. I actually had, 10 years ago, I had like this vision of my dream husband. And I made this list on all the qualities he was supposed to have, and then I had a list of all the qualities he was not supposed to have after burning myself a million times with some men. And I took up that list, and then with all the qualities, and when I was going to brush my teeth every day, when I open up the drawer, not the drawer, but what's it called? Shelf? Skap? Like do you know what I mean? Like the door when you're at the bathroom and you want to see where your toothbrush is. The insider of that, what's it called? Door? Somebody help me?
Is it a rack or something?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I know what you're meaning.
Yeah, right. You have, let's say, a mirror in front of you, then you open it up, and then you have, it's like a door, and then on the inside there, I put up this list on all the qualities that my man was supposed to have. So every time I opened up that door and took my toothbrush while I was brushing my teeth, I will look at that list and I will be like reminded of all the qualities that I needed to have in the man. So I didn't end up with all the other guys again and again, like you can tend to do, right? So anyway, my point is that that's a place where you can put up a list. It's not for everyone to see, but it still reminds you because it's a place where you are all the time. You can also, like, let's say, if you take marriage, it's quite, they actually have the same success factors. When you marry, you have a vision on forever after. You commit, you sign up. You share it with friends and family, and then you have a symbolic ring that reminds you on what you're doing every day, right? For it, so you can have a necklace or a watch, like buy something for yourself or to the house that you know that I bought this because I'm committed to learn Mandarin or to be in that industry or to be in that stage at some point. And it reminds you of your contract with yourself. You can also tell your friends to follow you up, like actually engage them for it. But what is even more important, put a date, and you might do it now, put a date on when you want to review your plan. Because the plan that you make creating right now for this year or for the 5-10 years, as you said, the unexpected happens sometimes, and it gives you new impulses, new ideas, new directions. Maybe you thought you wanted to work within media, but then you realized that you rather work within logistics. Because you met people, you learned new things, you saw new possibilities that you didn't foresee when at this particular moment where we're making this plan. So it's so important to kind of take this plan back up in once a year or twice a year, reflect on it. Is it really still what my dream is about? Is that still what is important to me, or have I changed? Have I learned new things? Is it other details that are more important? And then you create a new contract for yourself. With 2 friends, we meet the 31st of December every year, and we share our goals with each other, like for that year. This year we aim for doing this and that and that and that. And then we have a half-year revision for the summer. And we go through the list. Okay, what have we achieved? Are we getting closer? And some years I think we've done this now for 5 years, and some years it's really crap. Like we just depressed and crying all 3 together all the time. It doesn't feel good at all, and we have to review the plan. Like our state of mind, everything right now, it's not where it is, it's not what is important. And we create something new that we can achieve. So I really suggest that you put a date today and put it in your calendar, in your phone, in your email, and commit to that date to review your plan in order to get closer to your dream. Any questions?
Yes, I actually have an important one. I wonder, do I always have to set time for set deadlines for the specific goals?
No. But the more you do, the better it is, because then you're more committed if you have a deadline to yourself. But as Joachim was pointing out earlier, make sure you don't die if you didn't reach that deadline. Like, put a deadline because you want to commit time to it. If sometimes it's easier to say no to your mom when she invites you to dinner, if you know that you can say that you have a deadline, so I'm sorry, it's better for me to take it next week, right? So then the deadline, it's helpful. But if you put deadlines on yourself and then you feel that you're always under such huge pressure and you can't get anywhere and you're not reaching your deadlines and you feel that you're actually failing to yourself because you're not, then the deadlines are not good. It's not supposed to be deadlines that you cannot achieve. It's just a tool all the time. Good question. Is there any other questions?
Yes, I have a question. What do you do if some of the goals that you set out for yourself become, let's say, impossible to achieve? Like, what if something happens that makes it impossible for you to achieve a certain goal? So, for example, let's say the goal is to switch careers, and then that means that you'd have to go back to school and study something new. So what happens if you're not able to gain admission into school, or for some reason you can't come up with the school fees, or you can't qualify for a scholarship? Because sometimes some hindrances like that do happen. So what do you do when you're faced with such a problem?
You give yourself more time. You give yourself more time. If it's that you don't have the money, then you need to start to create a saving plan, right? If that's the issue, and then you have to create an action plan around. Okay, how can you ensure that you save amount of money? And then, okay, when do you want to have this done? And then you go backwards. I want to have it done in 5 years. It means I need this amount of money in 5 years. Okay, how much do I need to save then yearly in order to get there? What does that mean each month for my income? Okay, it looks impossible. How much? Then you go the other direction. How much can I save each month for this? And then you see, okay, maybe not 5, maybe not within the next 2 or 3 years. Maybe I can actually achieve this within the next 8 years. And by just having this plan, I think you will suddenly find yourself in some months that it's easier and others it's harder. If it is that you just want, you need new knowledge in order to get to a different place in your career, but it's not that you don't have the money, you just need the knowledge, right? But you can't get into that school because your grades are bad, for instance, right? But you still want to go there. Then I would start rethinking, okay, network. How can you gain this knowledge without that particular school? Or how can you get to know people that maybe have inside information that can get you closer to this school? Or is there any other type of school that could actually provide you with the same knowledge, even though it's not that good? Because the goal is to change career. So it doesn't mean that that particular school is the solution in order to change career, right? So then you have to rethink and get creative on other areas and try not to get stuck on like that there's only one road, and give yourself time Yeah, I think that's what I would have done. But sometimes it's easier said than done. And remember, this is a tool, so it might accelerate your process. And you have to review it all the time, like every year review it, because maybe right now you want something, but then in 1 year time you figure out that it wasn't that important. Actually, it was more the people that I was working with that I didn't like, but now everybody have been fired and there's new people coming in, so I'm much better. I mean, this type of things happens, right? Yeah. Does it make sense, or was it helpful?
Yes, that's very helpful. Thank you.
I wonder what I can do if the result of the goal, if the results you want to achieve don't turn out as you expected. What can I do then?
Well, the unexpected is sometimes good.
What?
Right? The unexpected is sometimes good because, or what do you mean? Like the result of the goals was not as expected. It took you some, how?
Well, for example, if I'm for example aiming for a place in the final, but I don't even get into the top 10 of a contest or something, what can I do then?
Then you have to try over again. And you have to be even more structured and work even harder, right? Because the level was maybe you put a plan and the level was higher than what you expected. So you just gained new knowledge for you to be even better in the next round. And again, like Joachim said, it's so important that you're not like, that you don't feel like a failure because you don't get the goals. That's not the point. Like you are not nobody's a failure because you don't achieve the goals. It's a tool in order to get there, in order to get closer to your dreams. And even though you were not able to get to each goal, it doesn't mean that you're not closer to your dreams. Any other questions before we move on? Okay. I think I have another video, but then I will save that one for, I will put it in the chat. So I'm going to share some of the goals that I've had. When I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. Actually with the 3rd Dan, and that was a huge goal for me. I really wanted to have a black belt, and you need to be structured in your exercise in order to get there. It's not something that you just get because you wanted. So it took a lot of my time in my childhood and also in as an adult in order to be there. And my final goal is actually to have the 4th Dan, which is the master in Taekwondo. That will be my next graduation, and I'm hoping to be there within the next 5 years. So if you talk with me anytime, please ask me if I have my 4th Dan in 5 years, so 2026. Traveling has been part of my goals, just because my dream and vision is to be happy. And I think that as long as you achieve things, if you make things achievable, then you also feel more happy. If you create goals to yourself that you cannot achieve, then I will not be happy. So it's important to create the goals and take action on them. And be proud of yourself when you do so. So the second picture is me on in Nicaragua on a volcano where I'm boarding down, and it was a lot of fun. And I've been doing different type of activities like that, traveling around in Latin America and in Tanzania and in Europe mostly. So my next travel will definitely be to Asia, where I have not been except from work, which I think is really boring. The third picture here is I put a goal that how much money I wanted to earn before I became 30. And at that point, I was 19 when I put that goal, and I felt that I actually reduced the amount because I felt it was so unrealistic. But I overaccomplished it, and I'm getting 33 this summer. So I need to put some new goals now where to go. And don't be afraid. The reason why I say it is because my friends felt it was really weird to have like a number of what salary income you want to have. But it's so much easier to have those conversations with your employer when you know how much you need to go up in order to get to your goal, and what you want to be worth, right? Or how many comics you need to have published in order to get to that amount, right? And then I got married in 2019, and I got a little baby that is 9 months old now. And last year we also bought a house with a garden, which was really important to me. So I've been able to achieve all my goals that I set for 10 years ago. And I'm sitting down now together with my husband and trying to figure out what's our goal for the next 10 years. And I think part of it is kind of to make sure that we keep the adventure in our mind. Like, I want to take my boys out on adventures. And that's my responsibility, to make sure that our life are adventurous. So then I have to define what does adventure mean. That will be fun. And this is the end of my session. I have this video about, you might have seen it before, Fire Up and Ready to Go by in Obama's campaign when he was elected. I will send it to you. Please watch it, and I hope you will feel fired up and ready to go after seeing it. And yeah, it takes me to the end of the session, and please ask questions if there's anything. I'll really appreciate feedback from you.
I know the question I'm going to ask now sounds kind of strange because it's kind of negative, but can I? Well, I actually want to avoid to appear in Luksusfellen, a program about over consuming, and can I also count this as a goal?
Yes, of course. And make a plan for it. Make be your own right? Make your economical plan. I mean, that's a perfect goal. Have a healthy economy.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Any feelings around this session that you would like to share?
It helped me a lot. Thanks. It gave
Good.
me perspectives on what to do in scheduling things.
Good. Anyone that didn't like it, feel free to share.
It was really inspiring.
Oh, you can go first, Anna.
I'm sorry, Amanda. You started first.
Oh, okay. I would just like to say that I like this session a lot, and now I have more like concrete mini goals to achieve my big ones. So it was a lot of help to like sit down and reflect on that. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. I hope you will do it again.
So I have to add something as well. I know I say this quite often, but this is one of the reasons I really, really enjoy being part of the AIESEC family. And that is because every time I am on a webinar or on a workshop in AIESEC, it's very wholesome and it's very inspiring and empowering. And it helps me a lot. And the best part is how, especially this Broaden Base project covered all the topics I was interested in. And I'm really so happy that I'm so happy that I actually joined today's session as well, because it was really helpful to me. So I'm just gonna, I noted down several things that you actually said, and I'm ready to go.
Thank you, Pascal and the team, for having this. Really good. I'm glad I could join. I'm glad I could be part of AIESEC again. And I really hope that this was something that you enjoyed and that you can make use of in a later stage. I know it's valuable as long as you keep not just having the theory behind it, but actually put it in practice. So yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Pascal, for having me.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Oh my God, I loved this session so much. I don't know, could you share the link with us in the chat for the videos?
It gets down like my it seems that my connection and videos, and so it's a bit, but I have to share it.
All right. I know at the start of your session you said you were going to talk a little bit on Mars for those who are interested in the company. So maybe if you want to field some questions in that area before we wrap up.
Of course. What do you want to know?
What questions, guys, do you have regarding the company or anything? Yeah.
I'd like to ask. I have so many questions. But yeah, so Elizabeth, I wanted to ask. I've always been interested in Musk. I guess that's the first thing I said, and I know they have a graduate program, and I have eyed it for the longest time, but it seems so impossible to get into. So what is it that I need to do, or what do I need to have to qualify to get into Musk? You got headhunted, but I'm still a student, and I want to know what the culture is like in there. What is it that you guys have that I need to have so that I qualify to get in there? Because I know it's an amazing place. Yeah.
I will say Maersk has a new strategy now. It used to be just a carrier, a shipping company. It's leading within within the ocean industry, right? It sold out from the bulk areas and now being only containers. And the new strategy that they started with for 2-3 years ago now is to become an end-to-end logistic, like integrated global container partner. Meaning that if you take shipping as an ocean freight, that's just one little piece of a supply chain. Like the supply chain, it's a chain of different it's a chain of different sequences, you can say, which each part influence the other. So you have the transportation part is just one bit of it, and then how you ship things, if you do it by ocean, air, road, rail, you will influence what happens at the warehouse, and that's another subject. What happens at the warehouse influence what's going out of the warehouse or being delivered to the next step, which could be adding to from what has been produced already, the fabric, right? And then so everything moving around from a company puts an order in to it goes through the warehouses being produced, all the bits and pieces put together, it's shipped different places, and in huge quanta, not only the mascara from AliExpress, but let's say oil and gas industry, for instance, right? If you're able to kind of get the knowledge, get your head around the supply chain in order, instead of just the shipping, I know in the future Maersk will be focusing on hiring that type of competency. So before they were very much about, oh, you need to have this IQ test, you need to have this personality check, you need to have so much experience, you need to be graduated within this and that. But Maersk is now going outside their comfort zone and figure out that we're not just going to lead the ocean industry, we're also going to start taking other market areas, and we want to be a logistic partner, not just an ocean partner. So if you want to get into Maersk, a way in could be to be part of a freight forwarder like Schenker, DHL, FedEx, gain competency there, and then search your way into Maersk afterwards. You could start within air freight. I mean goods, not like as passenger type, but like keep yourself within goods. You could be at you could gain competency by starting with a company that don't just deliver services like insurance and the banks and so on, but let's say a company that do import and export, right? That all owns their own products. So it could be furnitures, it could be makeup, it could be clothes, it could be anything that's produced somewhere else than where we are right now and needs to be shipped. If you start within the logistics area in that company, you will get the competency that I know Maersk will be searching for. Yeah.
Thank you. That's really insightful. At least now I know what to look for on my journey. Thanks.
And of course, always keep applying and put me on LinkedIn and make sure you see the headlines and always updated on what Maersk wants to. They also very much about digitalization, which is also part of why I was headhunted, because I used to work for Oracle, which is a technology company, and their supply chain cloud. So that's also a focus area and a way into Maersk now, because they are looking for people with the technology background within supply chain.
Thank you.
Questions. The first is about how to kind of do all the to use all the things we've learned in the webinar, and the second is what to do if you're not updating your LinkedIn profile regularly, because I don't do so.
I would, for me, LinkedIn is life. I don't go too much in Facebook or Instagram. I know Instagram, it's taking up part of it. I'm on the Clubhouse. It's not really happening much within logistics in Clubhouse. But when it comes to LinkedIn, that's where I've been headhunted. So by being there and having a good LinkedIn profile, it's been easy for headhunters to search me up, or for people to be reminded of that I exist, and tip companies that, hey, this is a person that actually has a background. I know her, and she might be valuable for you.
And what about kind of using all or most of the knowledge obtained at Broaden Base to scale my time? It's kind of hard to do.
I think there's no wrong way of doing things. Or let me rephrase that. Do not put in a selfie picture and look professional, right? Mm-hmm.
Okay, what did you say about? Can you repeat it again?
Yeah. Like picture-wise, try to have a professional picture where you look you're in a good.
I'm not about LinkedIn right now. I'm asking about how to use the knowledge I obtained at Broaden Base, about planning and scheduling in practice.
In practice.
Yeah, in practice, yes. It's kind of used to the theory, but I kind of need to.
How to start using it practically. So I'm not sure about the other workshops in Broaden Base, but the details that I've given you, I would recommend you to. What can you do tomorrow in order to get started on your plan? What can you do next week in order to get started on your plan? And put a date down today where you follow up yourself if you've done what you said you were going to do.